Our next talk is Engaging for Impact, How the Digitization Team is Reaching Stakeholders in the Margins by Glory Turnbull from the Natural History Museum, London.
Hello, my name is Glory Turnbull. As she said, I'm here on behalf of the Natural History Museum in London, and I'm here to talk to you about engaging for impact. So a bit of context and background. I work as a digitizer at the Natural History Museum. What that means is that every day I work directly with our specimens in our collection, taking high quality images, recording data, and making those things available on our data portal, which is free to access and free to use. So we have a team of around 9 digitizers from lots of different backgrounds, and we're celebrating 10 years of digitization at the museum in 2025. Now, you might imagine being a digitizer and working behind the scenes with the collection, we don't get tons of opportunities to work with the public and do outreach. So we have to be very deliberate and really go for it when it comes to doing outreach, like this program that I'll tell you about. So the London NERC Summer School was a 3-day program that took place in 2024 in July. It had 3 host institutions, the Zoological Society of London, University College London, and of course, the NHM. This was a program that was aimed at 16 to 18-year-olds from racially marginalized backgrounds from areas of high deprivation around London. We partnered with 10 schools that we selected using this criteria, and we welcomed them into our spaces so that we could, educate them about environmental science, but also really make them feel welcome and represented, see people like themselves working in these scientific contexts, and, encourage them to pursue careers that they're currently underrepresented in. So that's earth, ecological, and environmental sciences. So what the workshop was that I put together was exploring one application of our digitized collections. So there was a recent machine learning and AI paper that came out. So they pulled from our iCollections dataset. That's all of our British and Irish Lepidoptera. We've taken some fantastic pictures of them and loads of metadata that we've put onto our data portal, over 300,000 specimens. And what they did is they trained a computer vision pipeline to measure the wingspan of these insects and also pulled out the temporal data so that they could look for changes over time. Sounds a bit complex, but we kept our workshop really simple. We had our students create their own data set using just rulers, pencils, and pens, and forceps they could handle the replica specimens. And they created their data set and engaged in this little bit of science. In reality, the activity that we were running were the conversations that we were having with these students using this simple workshop as a tool. So we, of course, talked about biodiversity and climate change, but also machine learning and AI. AI is a really hot topic for students and young people right now. They're very curious about it. What are some positive uses that we can think of for machine learning? Also, of course, digitization. What is it, but also who does it? Not just literally who is on our team, but what kind of skills do you need to have to be a digitizer? What kind of things do you enjoy? Do you want to work at a desk or would you rather be working with people? Do you like doing things that are repetitive? These kinds of questions help these students imagine themselves in your position as a digitizer, right? Also, careers in science more broadly. And of course, some slightly more tricky topics like the ethics of collecting, our colonial past, and also climate justice. I find that when you don't build these topics into your programming, this is something that kids are really curious about. So if it feels taboo to them, they're going to bring it up. So the better that you prepare for these conversations, the more rich of a conversation you're able to have with them. And of course, every session is different because these kids are bringing their whole selves into this environment and they have lots of questions and lots of interests, and no student is exactly the same. The outcomes that I want to shout about. So we, of course, gave them all an exit survey. 76% of students said that they really enjoyed the environmental summer school. That's fabulous. 91% of students said that environmental science is very important to society. That's a big win. But what I'm most interested in shouting about is that digitizer was the #1 job that student attendees were interested in pursuing that they had never heard of prior to the day. And that's from a free text part of the feedback survey. So that means that they remembered digitizer and they were genuinely interested in pursuing it. 16 to 18-year-olds, the years just go by. For all we know, those are going to be our colleagues in just a few short years. And because we're expecting some growth in digitization, it's a relatively new field. We need interested young people who are motivated and engaged with environmental science to come into the field and do some of this great work. And please come find me if you want to have a chat. Thank you.